So, good afternoon, everyone. Hope you all have watched yesterday's class and what we have discussed, and we are almost reaching on to the conclusion part of the short story written by Vaikam Muhammad Bashir is what we have been discussing, and Oru Manushyan. So far you have come to know, or so far you have been discussing about the two different types of the narration that the author has used in order to convey what he wants to say about one of his life experiences that he has faced, isn't it? Now, when you talk about these particular aspects of the narration, in terms of the narration of the story, in the beginning of the story, it has been narrated from the perspective of the second person, that is you is used, and later on he shifts the narration to I, that is the first person. So there is a shift from second person to the first person narration in the story is what we have seen. And then we were discussing about these elements that have happened in his life in terms of what he has gone through in his life. Okay, so he vaguely tells us about a profession that he was supposed to do. What was the profession of the man that he was doing? Yeah, he was a professional English teacher or the lecturer or something, and his job was to teach English to especially to the laborers or the labor people in that particular big city that he was living in. And then we also discussed, like, not only teaching them English, but also he was well aware of the fact that these laborers who are away from their hometowns were supposed to write the letters. When they used to write the letters in their own language, the author's job was to, or Vaikam Muhammad Bashir's job was to teach them or make them write the addresses on the envelopes that are supposed to be posted so that it can reach their family members or so. And then we have been told here about the daily routine of the author here. So he himself is also from a very far off place to this big city, and he is also a complete stranger in this big city that we are talking about. And he was around 1500 miles away from his hometown, and he has traveled to this place, and his job is to teach them English. And once he starts from 9:30, he will go up to 11 o'clock. That was his routine, daily routine of working there in the city that he was living. And then he talks to us more about the city, like what kind of the people are there, what was he supposed to do, and what himself, being alone in that particular lonely place, he used to speak only two languages. One is English, the other one is Hindustani, nothing but Hindi. But most of the people were speaking in their own regional language in that particular place. Then he also tells us about the people are very fond of, that is, most of the people in the city are very much interested towards earning money. Money is everything for them, and it happens once in his life, or it happens so to the author's experience, is that one day he used to, he's deliberately used to skip or used to sleep for a long time, and used to get up somewhere around 4 o'clock in the morning just to just to save money spending on a meal or maybe on drinking a tea or something. And one day it was happened so that he was wearing a suit since he was teaching English. So he was wearing suit, and he woke up somewhere around 4 o'clock in the evening, and he just came out to have his lunch or so, and then he goes to a busy restaurant. That's what we have been discussing, and what we have seen there is about a restaurant scene. What happens in the restaurant, you know it very well. So in the last class of mine, I had stopped at a place where the author was supposed to give him 14 annas, isn't it? That's what the bill that came up to, isn't it? I drink tea as well. The bill came up to 11 annas. That is, it is not 14, sorry, it is 11 annas. That is, the bill came up to 11 annas, and he has to pay that in order to come out of the restaurant. It is as usual as you also do in your own life, isn't it? You go have your food, and before you come back, the bill is paid to you, or the bill is given to you, and you have to pay that, and then only you are supposed to come out. But what happens to author here is, this is the worst experience that he is going to share it with us today, isn't it? So what is that experience is now we are going to see. Now You have to understand here that the author is now in a restaurant and he is supposed to pay the bill of 11 annas for whatever he has eaten in the restaurant, and he has to come out of it. But to the matter of his own surprise, the author did not find, or he wasn't able to find, the wallet that he has kept in the pocket of his coat or something. He was just trying to take out the money or something, but he started immediately sweating. He started shivering because he was not able to find out the wallet. So he starts screaming, or he starts shouting, someone has picked my wallet, I don't find, or I am not finding my wallet. But on the other hand, do you think that the owner of the restaurant responded to what he was requesting for? Not at all. So he was almost abusive to this author here, and he's supposed to tell him, like, he's immediately told him that you cannot play any kinds of the tricks by saying that you have lost your wallet or something. 11 annas is the bill, you have to pay it out, or else I will see to it that, like, he just makes him scared by telling all those things, where we come to know that the restaurant owner was very, very adamant. I think I have stopped in that particular place, right? So since all of you have everything in your mind right now, let us continue further and see what exactly happens to the author. Okay, who's I here? As I have already told you, it is nothing but Vaikam Muhammad Bashir, or the author himself, or the speaker who's there in the story, Oru Manushyan. Okay, now I would like to tell you something more about the title of this story, that is Oru Manushyan. So now we are going to be introduced to the Manushyam, that is Oru Manushyan, and let us see who this Manushya, or who this man is, where he comes across. So the author looked at the people around me. So he started, like, what am I supposed to do? So since I do not have my wallet, how can I pay my bill? So he was just looking around the people, and I did not see even one kind face. They had the look of hungry wolves. That is, he was expecting some or the other kind of a help, maybe from the people around him, but no one, or he did not, that is, the author did not find even one single kind face who was supposed to come and help, or maybe look into the matter, like what has happened. But all of them were giving him very queer look, about as if they are very hungry wolves. Wolves, you know what exactly it is, right? Then if he said he would gouge my eyes out, he would gouge them out. So author finally came to the conclusion that I have to pay this man whatever the bill that has come up, or else he will definitely take my eyes out, in the sense that he will start hitting me or something in order to get back his money or whatsoever is happened. Because the author was very clear cut, understood the fact that the owner of the restaurant will not let him go without paying the amount, or without paying the bill, whatever it has come up to. Then I said, let my coat be here, I will go and bring some money. The restaurant keeper laughed again. So he was not getting an idea about, like, what am I supposed to do in order to pay off the bill. So what he thought, he told the restaurant owner that you can keep my coat here, okay, you can keep my coat here, I will go home and bring some money. The restaurant keeper laughed again. So he was not willing even to accept to keep the coat, the overcoat that he was wearing, in order to collect back money, because the author told him that you can keep this coat here, I'll just go home and get some money whichever I have. For that, restaurant keeper laughed again. He was not very serious about, or maybe he was unwilling to listen to what the author has said. Then he said, he asked me to take off my coat. He laughed and laughed, and finally, maybe don't know what was the reason, finally he told the author that yes, you can remove, or you can take off the coat, that is to take off my coat. He asked the author to take off his coat. Then as he was told by the restaurant owner, he took off the coat and he asked me to take off my shirt. The next thing that he was telling, that is the restaurant owner was telling that yes, you have removed your coat, now take off your shirt. That is also he is telling to the author. Then again, as he was helpless, who? The author was helpless. Muhammad Bashir was helpless. So what he did was, he did not have any other choice and he had to remove even the shirt. He took off his shirt. He asked me to take off both my shoes. Not only coat was enough to him, he asked him to even remove his shirt, and now he is furthermore asking to remove his shoes as well. And I did so because I was not having any other choice. So I took off my shoes as well. Then finally he asked me to take off my trousers also. Look at the man, how audacity is he having. Okay, so he's not having any kind of a mercy on author or to believe what the author is trying to tell him, and he just wants money. So please remember that in this big city where the author has come, people are very much interested in terms of getting money. They are ready to do anything for the sake of money. And one example is very clearly given by the author himself about one of his experiences when he shares about the restaurant. So the restaurant owner is not at all willing to accept anything that was told by the author. Rather, he keeps on asking him to give the things which are belonging to him. So he took off the coat, then he asked him to remove the shirt, that is also taken off. Then he even asked him to remove his shoes, that is also taken off. And now he is asking him even to remove the trousers, pants. Okay, even he is asking him to remove the trousers. Then what did the author say? So the idea seemed to be to strip me. That is, it was as if he is asking me to strip the clothes. That is, take off one after the other. Gouge out my eyes and send me out naked. So I was just thinking that this man is asking me to take off everything, and in that even after that he will definitely beat me up, or he will definitely abuse him in such a way that he will send me out naked. Then I said, I have nothing on underneath. That is, he said that no, I will not take off my trousers because I do not have anything underneath. So for that, even all the people who were there started laughing. So what is the thing that you need to understand here is that the restaurant owner, in order to take out the money, he can go to any extent. That is what you need to understand here. At the same time, when he is about to go to any extent in order to extract the money, or in order to take the money which he is supposed to give, he is making the fun, or he is making the fun of the author also. So they are talking in such a way that everything is heard to the other people, because I told you very clearly that it was a very busy restaurant, maybe a crowded place. Because of that crowdness or something, when he was getting in, someone might have picked up his pocket, or pickpocketed his wallet from the coat or so. So he said that no, I do not have anything underneath, I will not be able to take off the trousers. For that, everyone started laughing at the author. So then the restaurant keeper said, I doubt it, you must have something on underneath. So what you need to understand here is that he is extracting, or he is just taking off the clothes of the author, thinking that probably he is lying. Okay, so he says that no, the restaurant keeper said, I doubt you, I have a lot of doubts on you, you must have something or the other underneath. According to this thing, what we need to understand here is that the restaurant owner is having a doubt because he is thinking that the author is lying to him, saying that he has lost his wallet. That is what you need to understand here. Okay, so you can laugh, of course, yes, probably, because even the other people are also laughing at the author. But what you need to understand here is that he is even asking him to take off the trousers only for the reason that maybe he is telling him a lie that he has lost the wallet. Clear? All of you? Okay, let us go on further. Then, I doubt it, you must have something on underneath. About 50 people repeated, there must be something underneath. Okay, so first it was the turn of the restaurant owner, who told him that I doubt you must be definitely having something underneath, and I ask you to even remove off your trousers. And he was supported by the other 50 people who were there in the same restaurant, and they also told him that we doubt you, or we have a suspicion on you, or we suspect that you must be having something underneath, and that is the reason that you are probably hesitating to take off your trousers also. This is what you need to understand here. Okay, so about 50 people who were there in the restaurant, even they started at that, no, we don't believe you, there must be something underneath, so take off your trousers. They are also of the opinion of what same the restaurant owner is also asking him to do so. All right, then my hands refused to move, that is I was about to refuse, that is I was helpless there, because I was not having any other choice of whatever the restaurant owner is asking me to do so. So my hands refused to go, or my hands were refusing me to take off my trouser or something, and I saw in my imagination a man standing in the crowd, stark naked and without his eyes. Okay, then as I was just looking at my unwillingness to remove off my trousers, in my imagination, that is author is saying that in his own imagination he saw a man standing in the crowd, stark fully naked and without his eyes. That is, I could imagine that there is a man standing without, or he is naked, at the same time he is blind. So he is imagining it. Okay, he is just having a imagination on his own eyes. Then he said life was going to end like that. This is a very important line. Life is going to end like that. You must have heard that you come naked and you also go naked. So he is just trying to connect it with that aspect of the life, that anyone who is born comes to the world naked, and when he leaves this world he also has to go naked. Getting? So now I'm sure that you might not laugh, but this is something that he's trying to tell us through this example. Okay, so going to end like that, let it end, and for all this I never mind, O creator of the world. So now he's pacifying, or now he's praying to God, saying that everyone comes naked and everyone has to go naked, and I don't mind of doing this, because I have imagined already that there is a person, one who's naked, but at the same time he is blind. He is also blind. Then I had nothing to say. Everything would end. Everything would end to the satisfaction of all. So what you need to understand in this paragraph is that finally, without having no other choice, the author had to surrender to what the demands that were made by the restaurant owner. The restaurant owner was also supported by the other men in the same restaurant. That is, even the other people in the restaurant also supported the restaurant owner. Okay, so what you need to understand here is that for some seconds the author resumed, or he prayed to God that you had sent me naked, not only him, to everyone in this world. You have sent me naked, and obviously probably this is my end. This is my end. Probably I am going to die or whatsoever. I don't know. Everything will come to an end. Everything would come to the satisfaction of all. Then, you understood till here? Okay. Now, the author is not having any other choice except to remove off his trousers as it was demanded by the restaurant owner. So let us see what happens further. Okay, now I began to undo one by one the buttons of my trousers. I was about to go back, or I was about to undress, or I was about to undo, or I was about to remove the buttons one by one of my trousers, because it was demanded by the author. Then I heard a voice. He was about to open up, or he was about to remove the trousers because of not having any other choice. Meanwhile, something happened. So he could hear some voice. And what is that? Stop, I shall pay the money. So there is a voice that came from one of the persons who was there probably in that land, or I mean in that restaurant or so. So someone started speaking out, and what was that? Stop, don't remove your trousers, I shall pay your money. He heard that. Okay, then what happens? Everyone turned in the direction of the voice. So they were as if they were looking at, or as if they were looking for some funny moment that was going to happen, because he was being stripped by the restaurant owner. So when he was almost gone to an extent of removing his trousers, there was a voice which asked him to stop that, and he asked him that I shall pay your money. So when all the spectators, who are spectators? The people who are witnessing it, isn't it? So the people who were watching this tamasha, or so to say this fun, because it was a fun for them, isn't it? Even for the restaurant owner, or maybe for the other people in the restaurant, isn't it? So when he was about to do so, they heard a voice, and everyone was very anxious, including the author. Who is this? Okay, now please try to connect it to what is the title of the story. What is the title of the story? The title of the story is nothing but Oru Manushyan, isn't it? Now we can connect it, or after discussing this probably you can connect it. There stood a fair, very, what, white, that's what you say, isn't it? So there stood a fair complexioned man, 6 foot tall, with a red turban that sick people wear, no? So he was wearing the red turban around and white trousers. He sported a handlebar mustache and had very blue eyes. So what he could see here is that a gentleman who was in his turban, well dressed, 6 foot tall, he could see, that is author, also the other people could see the man who was having a hand on his mustache, and probably he was a sick, because he was having a red turban, white trousers. He sported a handlebar mustache and he had a very blue eyes. This is the description of the man. Blue eyes were quite common at this place. So he gives us another hint of, like, which city is this we are talking about. So he gives him, the author gives us one more hint that most of the people in this place are having a blue eyes. He came forward and asked the restaurant owner, how much did you say it was? He says 11 annas. He paid the amount, turned to me and said, put on your clothes. Okay, so he came, finally a man with a red turban came to the rescue of the author, and he came straight away to the owner and asked him what was your bill, and he told him it was 11 annas. He paid them off, and then he asked, or he turned towards author and he told him that put on your clothes, and the author did so. Then, come, he called me. I went with him. Did I have words to express my gratitude? I told him, you have done a great deed. I have not seen a finer man like you. So, as both of them came out of the restaurant, they were talking to each other, and obviously the author has to express his gratitude because he has helped him at the time of his need, isn't it? So he just told him that, like, thank you very much, or he tried to express his gratitude, and he told him that you have done a very good job today, and something that I have never seen a finer man in this city so far, is what he said. Then he laughed. That is, the man who helped the author, he just laughed him. Then he asked him, what's your name? He asked. I told him my name and where I came from. So he just asked him, what is your name? So the author told him his name, and he told him that where is the place that he has come from. Then I asked the man his name. He said, I have no name. So in turn, he was like, both of them started talking to each other, and they wanted to know, like, who both of them are. So they just wanted to become familiar to each other, where author had to tell his name and the place where he has came from, and in turn author asked him his name. He very politely replied, saying that I do not have any name. So he just told him that I don't have any name. I said, in that case, mercy must be your name. Okay, well, if you say that you do not have a name or something, then I think, or I presume, or I think to myself that probably mercy, M-E-R-C-Y, mercy can be your name. So he said that, let me put you, or let me give you a name, probably you can be Mercy. Then he did not laugh at that. He did not laugh at the name when he heard it was Mercy. He walked on until we reached a deserted bridge. That is, both of them started walking to a place where it is a deserted, where there are no people, where there are no vehicles. Understood? So both of them walked till a bridge where there is nobody, where there are no people roaming around, nor even any vehicles are there. So they walked until that particular bridge. Okay, and then he looked all around. The man with the red turban, he looked all around. There was no one, so nobody was there. So he just saw there, and then he told him that, look, you must go away without turning around. That is, he is just asking him that you, with this bridge that it is going, okay, where you can see this bridge, and you have to walk straight away from here without even looking back, turning around. If anyone asks you whether you have seen me, you must say no. Okay, look at this Oru Manushyan. So Oru Manushyan now should be in your mind is the man who helped the author. Okay, so he tells him that there was no one. Look, you must go from here now, and you should walk from here without even turning around. If anyone asks you if you have seen any man with a red turban, white trousers or something, you should say that no, you have not seen. Then he understood. Okay, he said that, okay, I will not turn around, I will just go away from this place, and if anyone asks me, I will say that I have never seen you. Okay, then I understood. He took out from his various pockets about 5 wallets. So before he could send him back, he just told him that he, from his pocket, took off some 5 wallets. Who? The man with the red turban. He took off some 5 wallets. 5 among them was mine. Look at it. Okay, so what he finds, that is what the author finds here, is that the man, one who came to help him, he told him that you must straight away walk from this bridge without even turning around. If anyone asks you, you should say that you have not seen a man with a red turban and white trousers. Then before sending him, he just takes off some 5 wallets. The moment the author sees these 5 wallets, one wallet was belonging to whom? Yes, it was belonging to the author. So among those 5, one was mine. Which of these is yours? So he is very politely asking him, like, which of these is yours? And then he pointed towards his wallet. Open it. So he gives him the wallet and he asks him to open it. I opened it. My money was there intact. He has not touched it. That is, the money that was there in his wallet. How much was the money? 14 rupees, isn't it? So the 14 rupees which was there in his wallet was intact. Intact means it was not touched. It was as it was. Nobody had touched it. It was as clear, it was kept in the wallet. So I opened it, my money was there intact, it was not touched at all. I put it in my pocket. So he just took off this wallet, saw, counted the money or whatsoever, and then he told me, go, may God help you. So he says that, he hands him over the wallet and he asks him to go, may God bless you. And I repeated, may God help you. Okay, so may God help you. That is, look at the asterisk that is given in the author's dialogue. What does he say? I repeated, may dots and then God help you. That is, he could have done anything, because at the end of the story, what you come to know here is that he was in that situation. It was only because of this Oru Manushyan only. Isn't it? Why? Why do you think that it was because of this Oru Manushyan only? Because he was the man who has pickpocketed his wallet. Isn't it? So he was not aware of that particular fact, and he was trying it very hard to gauge with the restaurant owner. there, isn't it? And he was not at all willing to listen to whatever he said. And you know what exactly happened in that particular scene. And even the people who are around him started supporting the restaurant owner. Finally, the man, one who was the thief, is nothing but Oru Manushyan only. So what you have seen here is that he asks him, he helps him out, and he asks him to go, and then he hands him over the wallet which was stolen. Who stole the wallet of the author? It was nothing but the same man, nothing but Oru Manushyan only. So what we need to understand here is that the author might have been very angry towards this man, but he couldn't do so. Why? Because he actually helped him at the time of the need, isn't it? So he helps him, he gives him his wallet and tells him that you can go from here, okay, and may God bless you. On the other hand, even the author says that may ... God help you. So there he ends the story. Am I clear? Hope you all have understood here. You can have your own waves and the reviews of whatever you think at the conclusion part of the story. Okay, but so far what you need to understand here is that the title of the chapter or the story, Oru Manushyan, is a direct reference to whom? It has been referred directly to the man, one who comes to rescue this man from the difficulty that he had in his life. Okay, so what you need to understand here is that sometimes you do fix up in such a way in your life that probably any kind of a help that you get from others will be specifically for your good sake. And that is what the author thinks here, that finally he was very happy for the fact that somehow he paid my bill and I came out of the restaurant and I also got back my wallet, isn't it? I also got back my wallet, and he just stays on and he tells him that yes, may God bless you, may God help, sorry, not bless, rather may God help you or something. So what you need to understand here is that, so this is a place that the author is trying to talk to us is about the place that is filled with murderers, with thieves, isn't it? But still you can find one or the other kind of a humanity that the people had there. So that is why Vaikam Muhammad Bashir is narrated or has narrated us this story of his own experience that he had in this big city. Okay, hope you all have understood whatever is being discussed, and I have given a conclusion to this Oru Manushyan today, and probably in my next class we will discuss the question and answers related to this chapter. Hope you have understood everything. Okay, so what I would request you is that now after watching this video, probably you can just go through once again from the beginning till the end and just try to understand what exactly has happened in the story. Alright, so thank you very much. I shall meet you tomorrow, or I shall meet you in my next class with the discussion on the question and answers related to the chapter. Thank you very much.